Welcome everyone. I am pleased to welcome Dr. Vinay Kumar Pandey, a respected teacher and researcher in the field of food technology, food processing, packaging, and food waste utilization. He is currently working with the Research and Development Cell at Manavrachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad. In just the last 4 years, Dr. Pandey has published over 130 research papers with more than 3,200 citations and an H index of 31, showing the wide impact of his work. His research mainly focuses on new food processing methods, eco-friendly packaging, and turning food waste into useful products. We are glad to have him with us today, and now I invite Dr. Pandey to share his knowledge with us.
Here I am today. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, and I'm looking forward for a successful, session on the research basics, research writing, which I'm going to be presenting through a PPT, through a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm glad once again. Thank you very much. So I'll just share my screen with you all so that you can see the presentation. If I'm allowed to. Yes.
Yes, sir, you're allowed.
Yeah. So, like, is it visible? My screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, like today, yes. So today we are going to talk about the basics of research publication. What are the criterias? What are the parameters? I understand being a student, it might sound like something boring, but yet it is a very wonderful, uh, a domain, a wonderful platform for students to present their work, to uh, to show the world that they have done something very interesting, and for that you need to publish your work, right? So a research is not a research until it is published. This is a statement that should be remembered. And with this, I just start my presentation. All right. So in this presentation today, we are going to discuss about the publication journey. Like there are 4 steps, and the first basic step is basics of research writing, preparing and submitting the manuscript, understanding the journals, and the last one is artificial intelligence tools, and the question answer session will be followed. Right. So let's talk about this step 1, the basics of research writing. It is like I would like to declare first of all that research writing is different from whatever you write in a notebook, whatever the newspaper publishes in the notebook, in the newspapers and magazines, and whatever the content you see across the globe, across the society. There's a complete difference between all these writings. And with the basics of research writing, I would like to inform you all that what are the differences, like what are the parameters that we differentiate the normal writing and scientific writing, right? So सबसे पहले तो you should know that what is the purpose of your writing, right? And there's always a different purpose, there's always a tone and different tone and style, audience, sources, structures for normal writing and scientific writing. See, whenever you aim to represent your research data, your analysis, your evidences, whatever you have gained through your experiments, it's called scientific writing, right? While at normal writing, there are general communications, like you just are expressing your views in some language, in some in some jargons, or in some repeated redundancy sentences. So it creates a multiple domains, multiple differences, multiple ideas to share in scientific writing and in normal writing. Same goes with the tone and style. That there's a specific format of a paper that in which you have to write your paper, right? So there are basically 2 types of paper: research papers and review papers. So we will be discussing about it further. And following to it, audience, like what are the for example, suppose there's one guy who is comedian and he's targeting audiences. So he expects to like he expects the audience like they should be with full of humor, they should not be feeling bad. So there's a type of audiences that we actually target, right? Same thing goes with the researchers. Researchers actually target different kind of audience means your viewers, your readers, like to whom you are targeting, to for whom you are writing a paper, for whom you are just uh, trying to convince about your research and telling them that this is how we have done our research and this is how we started the journey, this is how we concluded, this is how we have given the references and citations. So we have audience of readers, we should target the students, faculty members, universities, and different institutions across the globe, and scientists who are going to read your paper, who will be reading your paper in future, definitely, because publishing the paper is not the only option that we have to target. Because after publishing there are lots of things that happens with the paper, with the published paper. Suppose I just correlate it with a very funny example. You upload a reel, or you just upload a photograph in on Instagram, and you just wait, you just observe what are like how many likes that you have got, how many comments you have got, how many views you have got in your reel. In the same way research paper goes after the publication, right? So to understand the matrix of published paper, you need to correlate it with the Instagram. Definitely, because I am taking this example to make you understand in a better way, because this generation is like completely into social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Everybody is using these like these are the social applications which they are using it. So it just matrices correlates with the same social media platform. For researchers also, they have a different social media platform called ResearchGate. Like we have professional platform like LinkedIn. So we just post our paper over there. So how many scientists, how many students, how many faculty members are reading our paper? You can get the data from ResearchGate platform, right? How many published papers are using your paper as a reference is called citation, right? And same with the number of citations you get, the number of good readers it reflects actually. So whenever you want to measure somebody with like how much this research has impacted the world, so you must go with the citations. You just see the citations of a paper. Same goes with the profile. So whenever we are writing a paper, we need to just focus. We need not to just focus on the current scenario. We also have to cover the future perspectives. Like this paper might be used as a reference in future, like after 2 years or 1 year or like 3, 5 years or 10 years. Suppose we are writing a paper, so we are also using such kind of references, right? So we are stating a word, a sentence, for example. जैसे हमने कुछ कहा, for example we have said something, so there is always a reference, a background, an evidence with what you are supporting your statement, right? So that is the difference between the normal writing and scientific writing. And obviously they have a different structure, we'll be discussing about it. What is the depth of content, what are the objectives that your paper is covering, what should be the word choice, what is the review process, what should be the length. So there are general formats, there are general uh, word choices in normal writing, but whenever if I talk about the scientific writing, you should be very specific. So this was the basic difference of normal writing and scientific writing. Now we would be talking about the guidelines that we should follow while preparing a manuscript. Writing, I would say, is the last part. Before writing, you have to prepare lots of things. Suppose you are going to write an exam by tomorrow. So writing in an exam in an answer sheet is the last option, is the last like step, is the last stage. Right? Before writing on the answer sheet, you have to prepare yourself, you have to mug up few things, you have to practice on rough notebooks, and you have to memorize lots of things before writing on exam. The same thing goes with the research writing. So before starting of your paper, before start writing your paper, you need to first of all choose a current burning topic, right, on which you can do research. And if you are going for review articles, then you have to again choose for the trending topics in the on the journals, on the research platforms like Scopus. Also you can find out, like in our university we have Scopus subscription. With the help of Scopus AI, you can find out the trending topics of your interest. You just have to write one thing, and it will give you all the things, all the references, all the trending topics, all the trending authors with that particular paper which you are looking for. So I'll just show you in between that how we are using Scopus and Scopus AI as well, right? The second stage is download and read papers. Now here we have to be very selective, very specific about reading a paper, about selecting a journal, that what kind of paper you have to read, what kind of articles you should choose for your reference. It should be very specific. Like there are only few publishing houses from which you can read out papers. You are not supposed to read bad journals paper, or like the journals which do not have a good quality, right? So while reading, you should be very specific. While downloading a paper, you should be very specific. And you have to go only for like Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, and somewhat MBPI, Frontiers. So these are the publishing houses. And in these publishing houses, you'll get lots of journals with some journals have publication fees, some journals do not have any publication fees. So there you can publish your article without any charges, or without any article processing charges. And there are lots of free of cost journals, good quality journals, but you have to be very precise while choosing a journal. Now the third step is find research gap and choose a title. Research gap is what? When suppose you have downloaded some 5 or 6 papers, for example, right? So for 5 or 6 papers, you have like read all those 5 or 6 papers. Now you have found out that one particular paper do not have that specific experiment which you were expecting. Another research paper does not have that kind of research which you were expecting. So in between those two papers, you are eligible, you are able to find a gap. Like, okay, these two papers have not covered this particular area. Now, in my research paper, I will specifically focus on this problem, right? So when you find out a problem and collected from 5 or 6 or 10 papers or 50 papers or 100 papers, you just found out your research gap. So what I will do, what audience will do is, audience, rather than reading those 10 or 15 papers, they will go with your paper, because you have collected information from the 10 papers, and now your paper is specifically about some research, right? And you have covered all the research gaps which they do not have. In this way, you'll get more citations, more reads, right? After choosing your research gap, you need to prepare an outline on which you will be working, and after that start writing. So these were the basic steps for starting your writing. Like I जैसा कि मैंने पहले बोला, like as I previously told, that before writing you need to prepare and like do your homework for lots of things, so that you can be, you should not waste time on papers, reading papers after when you start writing, right? So again, there's a difference between research paper and review paper. You can take the screenshot of the slide, or else I'll share the slide with you all. No issues in that. There's a difference between research paper and review paper. The basic difference which I would tell you is, when you are using a data set, right? Whenever you are using numerical values, whenever you are using some experimental values, so you are collecting, you are following some methodology, some protocol, you are performing experiments, you have got some data, you are representing it, you are analyzing it through some graphs and flow charts. And after doing all these things, you are writing a conclusion. So this is called as a research paper. Now, in review paper, you have to do the literature survey. Like in research paper, you have performed experiments in your laboratory, or on your desktop, or with the help of some software. In review paper, you are reading papers. And when you are reading papers, you have lots of literature collected in your laptop. Now you have to prepare your like information, like what they have covered in other review papers, and what is your statement of purpose, what is your contribution, what is your prediction about that particular research. So this is called as a review paper, right? uh, there is a monotony that most of the people say that research paper has more credibility and review paper has less credibility. I would tell you that it is completely not like that, right? They both have equal and balanced credibility. Because if I'll talk about your reflecting your profile, yes, research paper do have credibility, right? But you get citations and H index with review paper only. Research paper, they hardly get citations, they hardly get views, and but yes, they will be used, but not that much as compared to your review paper. Because whenever you are writing your research paper in introduction section itself, you will be writing about some literature, you will be writing about some papers, and you will be giving some citations. So there also you are using a review paper. So they both have equal and balanced credibility. So whenever you write a review paper, yet it requires a lot of hard work. Again, I would say research paper, it is somewhat like if you have not done any research, it is very critical. Because if you have not done, you just copy pasted somebody's research and you have published it, it's completely unethical, right? You have taken data from some published papers, it is completely unethical. It is illegal as well. Because when you, like, I have worked with lots of foreign collaborators, and they stated, first of all, whenever like we start working with them, they just say because people are just paraphrasing the paper and publishing it. So this is illegal, because lots of researchers from abroad, they have filed cases against some of the authors. So while writing a paper, while doing this business, you have to be very particular about choosing your novelty, your credibility, right? So again, the aspects are purpose, content, structure, data involvement, novelty, focus, audience, references, use of graphics, outcomes. So these are the basic uh, things which I covered in the difference of research paper and review paper, right? Now, we will be talking about steps of writing a review paper. Suppose you have chosen one topic, right? So when you have chosen one topic, you just go, like, you would be thinking it is like very unique. I have chosen this topic. So whenever you go and search on a Google Scholar platform, you will find that there are lots of papers already published in that particular area. So whatever the idea you get, there is somebody in the world, in the corners of the globe, who must have worked, or must be there will be some ongoing research. So there should always be a uniqueness in your idea. Now, when you type your idea on Google Scholar, you will get papers. Now you just read those papers and find out that how different your idea is from those already published papers. Now, here is the place where you actually play your game and make your space. There are lots of drinks in the market, right? There are lots of chips packets in the market, but still, some of the brands are still fighting for their survival, right? And they have introduced new flavors, and they have jumped a very good height, a very good hike in the marketing of those chips and drinks and food packages. So whenever you see there's always a saturated market, you just find out your novelty. Somebody who is drinking Pepsi, they will always drink Pepsi. Somebody who is drinking Mirinda, they will always go for Mirinda. Like, so whenever you see there's like some other juice brands, they are still introducing. They already know that they have competitors. There are already lots of brands of lots of things, but still they never stay behind while introducing new brands and new products. Like this, there are always like bhare pade papers, and there are lots of already published papers. Your idea is already being used by somebody, but still you are into it. No problem. Journal will only publish your idea when there's a novelty. Now you have chosen some novel topic relevant to your area, right? Conduct an exhaustive literature search. For literature search, you use PubMed, you use Google Scholar, you use ResearchGate, right? You use Scopus. So whenever you search for a paper, you will always find something, some more papers below it. जैसे कि हम Google search करते हैं, and we find out lots of relevant and irrelevant information below that. So we have to be very specific. For example, you're writing something on ChatGPT. It always gives you the outcome based on your command. So while like typing your words on the Google Scholar, you have to be very specific, very specific. Then only it will give you the perfect paper. Right now, prepare the outline. You have downloaded lots of papers, you have done your homework, you have done everything, and which is required to conduct a review. Now it is time, right? So, uh, just a moment. So, yeah. Now, structure the article, structure your paper. One heading should be in continuation with the previous heading, and there's always a sequential way, there's always a flow in a paper. Whenever you start reading your paper, you'll understand the concept. Right? The next heading is always connected and ahead of the previous heading. Right? Now, to beautify your paper, you have to insert tables, figures, charts, graphical abstracts. Fine. When you have done all these things, now you have to choose for the journal. Choosing journal is again an easy task. I would suggest you once. I'll show you something. Just give me one moment. Suppose, uh, see, this is the article which I'm working right now, on which I'm working right now. So what I do is when my article is prepared, right, I'll just show you like this is the article. This is actually a research paper, right? It has several figures, several charts, several analysis, right? So the particle is completely ready. Now what I'll do is to find out a journal, I'll just copy this abstract, right? And I'll go over there. You have journal finders on the publishers website. Suppose I'll use Elsevier journal finder. See, this is Elsevier journal finder. Now I'll tell you about Springer journal finder. Right, this is Springer journal finder. This is Village journal finder. Right, now I'll just start with this. I have pasted my abstract over here, right, and clicked on the find journals. Now it will show me, see, showing 40 journals matching your profile. Right, so with the help of artificial intelligence, they have just designed this website to support you, to provide you the best and better results in finding your journal. Right, so you can see impact factor, everything is displayed over here, how much time they are taking, how much percentage they have of acceptance. Suppose uh, uh, there are 100 manuscripts being submitted in a year, so they are accepting just 28 manuscripts per year. Right, its impact factor is 2.8. They will take 84 days. So every information you'll get here. Now, what is the difference between open access and subscription? Open access means you need to have this article processing charges on your bank account to pay this kind of fees, like $4,070. It's almost like 3.9 lakhs, right? Obviously, we cannot pay that. So yes, we have this option, no publishing charges. So we'll go with the subscription. So this journal is called as a hybrid journal, where we have both the options. अब आपके मन में like you will be thinking about like when they have free, then why are they charging? Because some of the universities, they have like foreign universities specifically, they have this much of funding from the government, so they just go with the open access, they pay the fees because open access articles gain more visibility, and they are easy to read, everybody can go and just read it out. No publication charges means your paper will not be displayed completely, and those who want to read your paper, they have to pay charges. So either of the way, the journal is earning a wonderful amount of money. So again, I'll show you just few journals: applied food research, sustainable, right, chemometrics. So these are the matching journals. Now if I have to choose a journal, I'll just select a journal in between starting five. This is my perspective, and because the the sixth, like from sixth, you get a very general recommendations. So from starting five, I'll just choose a journal. Same goes with the Springer. I'll paste my abstract again here. I'll click on find journals, and it will suggest me. See, this is also hybrid 3.3 impact factor 30 days, right? So they have suggested me some journals again. Same goes with the Ville. Ville actually require your title and your abstract as well. So I just paste my abstract and I'll just copy my title from here and I'll paste it over there. Click on find. See, Ville has also suggested me some journals, right? So on an average, I have what I have observed is that this paper is of quality which where it can go with the journal of 3 to 4 maximum, right? This is what I have observed. Now what I'll do is I'll go on the websites of each journals, right? Suppose I have clicked on this. I'll read out the aim and scope of the journal, whether it is matching or not. It is for the cross verification, nothing else, right? So this is a journal, Food Science and Nutrition, right? Now I'll go with the aim and scope of the journal, right? I'll see the latest article published. Is it like matching with my paper? Somewhere my paper is getting fitted here or not? So these are the techniques through which we actually find out a journal. Then we'll go for the guidelines. I'll show you. Suppose in Elsevier, I'll click on this journal, the first journal, right? So this is the journal, impact factor is 6.8. Here is aim and scope. I can read out whether it is in falling in my area or not. So I'll, after reading all these things, I'll finalize, okay, this is my journal. Now what I'll do is I'll go with the guide for authors. As you can see at the right side of the corner below impact factor. Guide for authors means guidelines. So every journal has different guidelines on which you need to align your paper. See, it accepts three types of papers: research paper, invited review articles, frontiers articles, right? What is the peer review process? What is the ethics and policies? What are the authorship changes, right? What are the different criterias, declaration of competing interest? And I'll see for the formatting of the article. Yes, this is the writing format, right? So they accept Word file, single column format, grammar should be checked, title guidelines are there, abstract guidelines are there, keywords, highlights, formulas, tables, figures. So this is how we actually adhere to the guidelines and prepare our article accordingly, and then only we submit. If we submit our paper without following the guidelines, the paper will be immediately rejected. This is one of the major uh, point which I should mention over here. There are lots of points, there are lots of perspectives on which a paper is getting rejected. Rejection is the highest. If you want to if you want your paper to be accepted in a journal, there are lots of criteria once again, but it's not that much tough, and yet it is not that much easy. So with proper guidance of your mentor, of your faculty members, right, you can do it. You can publish as many papers as you want. Quality should be there, high impact should be there. Then only it will gain more visibility, right? Now I'll talk about the standards, the basic standards I would like to mention over here. This is just a summarized version of the guidelines you just saw in the Google I have shown you. So abstract, generally a research paper must have an abstract of 200 words. Word limit is there, yes, 4,000 minimum. Like you can go for 3,500 words minimum at least, and maximum 6,000. Journal does not accept a research paper with 8,000 or 10,000 words. Generally, right? Approximately 90% journals I have seen, they don't accept a research paper with more than 6,000 or 7,000 word limit. Figures, again, in a research paper, you can add as many graphs you want. You can put like minimum at least 3 to 4 figures or tables in your manuscript, and rest, if you have more figures and tables, you can use as a supplementary file, right? Reference, in a research paper, there's a limitation of research, there's a limitation of references, like at least 20 to 25 references should be there. Maximum is 40 to 50 references. And that should be latest, because your latest research is only being cited, because journal, they want trending always. They want just a trend, right? They just want the latest research, because a research has like it has been done 10 years back, and now you, if you are going to publish it, it will not be published for sure, because the market criteria has changed, the trend has changed, and your research is like old age research has, it has become now, right? Standards of a review paper. A review paper should contain minimum 200 to 250 words of abstract. Yes, a review paper may have a different word limit. At least 6 to 7,000 minimum words should be there in a review article. Below that, it is called as short review or short communication or like short paper, right? So below 6,000, there is not a, it is not a review paper, it's a short communication. So review paper should have more than like 6,000 or 7,000 words. Some journals, they accept papers with 15,000 words as well. I published my one of my papers, like it was the lengthiest paper of my journey of my career. It was 19,000 words, but I published it in a journal where they don't have word limit. Right? It got published in Frontiers in Food Science and Technology. So again, figures and tables, as I previously mentioned, that at least three figures should be there. Tables, minimum 2 tables should be there, reflecting some unique information and references as well. I'll just show you one review article over here. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay, see, this is a review paper, right? This is one of my PhD papers which already got published, so I can, yeah, show you over here. So we have worked like in collaboration. I, including some of my students and some of my colleagues, they have worked here, and it is abstract. See, it is of abstract keywords introduction, right? Then this is the table. See, this is a table. So how I have represented the name of the compound, formula, retention time, area, and references. In review paper, have you should always add references at the end. Like in every column, in every row, you have to use references. These are the figures. These figures should not be copied from any already published papers. These figures should be drawn by yourself. It should be created from different softwares. Like I generally prepare all my figures from PowerPoint presentations. PowerPoint presentations has lots of graphics. Even you can utilize it for writing or for preparing a diagram in a like for a paper, right? So this is how a review paper looks like. It's a literature survey. I have shown the mechanism, right? I did not work in the laboratory for this review paper. I have collected research papers, survey. I have conducted the survey. I have collected some published papers. I have read them, right? And I have given the citations and references at the end. See, these are the references from where I have chosen some information. So if I have chosen some information from this particular paper, I need to give them the credits. This is how the world goes. अब हमने यहाँ पर हमने like we have chosen some information, right, about any kind of thing, so we have given them references, right? So as you can see, there are lots of references are there. So completely it is 11948, 11,948, including references. Right? These are the word counts. Coming back to our presentation, so I have just shown the sample of review paper. Now, when you are ready with your paper and you have done all the homework, now it's time for the submission. And before submission, you need to follow the guidelines. You need to check the guidelines. What are the specificities that I have mentioned over there on their websites, which I have shown you on the website of a journal. Abstract formatting, right? Number of heading, paragraph indent, line spacing, line numbering, citation style, reference style. If you do not follow these things, these basic things, as per the journal guidelines, your paper will be rejected ultimately, right? So these are the like graphics for the submission of a manuscript. And being a student, being a like, at least if you're in graduation, you are not supposed to submit papers, because yes, you can submit. It is not written anywhere that you cannot submit, but you should be working under a mentor, under a supervisor, under a faculty member who will be submitting your work, because he or she would be senior, and they will be having some research background, some research profile, because submitting a journal, submitting an article in a journal, again, it's a task. Like, we have to provide reviewers sometimes, and we have to check for the grammar, we have to structurize the paper, we have to follow the guidelines, and we have to cross check the guidelines, we have to prepare cover letters, and submission portal is open or not. So lots of things are there. Regular follow up should be there, that you are, after submitting, you just forgot it. Okay, no, it's not like that. You have to follow the journal guidelines, and after submission of the paper, you have to regularly check for it, that the paper is with editor, the paper is under review, the paper is rejected, or the paper is accepted. सो ये मना किया जाता है ग्रेजुएशन के स्टूडेंट्स को, दैट अभी आप उस सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में नहीं है, दैट इज व्हाई यू शुड नॉट सबमिट. You take help from your mentor, from your teacher, from your faculty member, anybody from your department, right? And you can go for it. Understanding journals. Okay, there are two types of journals, but I have classified it in only two ways, because generally there are some misconceptions about the journals, that if it is paid, it is not good, if it is unpaid, it is good. So there are lots of, again, discrepancies, I would say. Paid, there are two types of paid journals. First one is, like, if you are paying 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 rupees, and you are publishing your papers, it is actually of no use, I would suggest. Now, paid journals, as I've shown you on the website, that those paid journals which we cannot even afford, $4,000, $2,000, if you are publishing in that, that is credible. But again, we do not have that much of funding support, right? In India, we actually do not have that much of funding support from the government, or research has not that much progressed still. There are lots of establishments yet to be done in India specifically, right? So if you are publishing in those particular journals, they are okay. If you are publishing in Elsevier, Ville, Frontiers, Springer, it is completely fine. Now, my perspective is, when you have unpaid journals, good journals, then why you are looking an option for the paid one? Just let it be. Just forget about it. Go for the unpaid journals. There are thousands of unpaid journals over there, and quality journals. And a research is published in unpaid journals is always like considered as the best, because journal is not charging any fee, so they will not publish any to and fro. Like anything, they will not, they will just cross check it, they will get it reviewed from the experts, then only they will give their decisions for acceptance and publication. So my suggestion is go for the unpaid journals always, right? So these are some screenshots. Like as you can see over here, these are the first one is UGCKL listed journal. The second one is Elsevier. Again, the standard publishing house. They have a publication fee of 1,800 US dollars. Right now, they have mentioned below that from 1st June 2022 to 31 December 2023, we offer a 50% discount on APC. Suppose if you have submitted a paper in a paid journal, now you are into dilemma that okay, now they have accepted and I do not have money. So you can always drop an email to the editors, right? Requesting full waive off, right? I have done this thousands of times and they have provided me with the complete waive off. So whatever you think about the publishing process in journals and matrices, there's always a second option over there. You need to explore, you need to be a part of somebody's paper. Then only you will understand the basic things of the paper. Now, see, this is a screenshot of a journal which have both the options, gold open access and subscription. Gold open access means they have publication charges, and subscription means they do not have any kind of charges. The difference is gold open access journals, you are paying for the publication, right? So the readers will be reading it for free. But in subscription, you are not paying any kind of fee. So they will collect this fee from the readers. Now readers have to pay to read your papers. And in like international universities, like Harvard universities, UK, and like lots of universities are there, they have subscription. So what are the papers they want to read? They can read it by paying because they have already, their government has already paid to them to read a paper, right? So this was the basic difference between subscription and open access. Now, I would be talking about like how much time do we have? 15 minutes, okay. So I'll just finish it out. Uh, there are levels of journals, राइट लाइक जैसे हमारे रिलेटिव्स होते हैं रिश्तेदार होते हैं सो वी हैव लेवल्स लेवल 1 पे वी हैव आवर पेरेंट्स लाइक लेवल 2 पे वी हैव our second generation like grandparents. Level 3 pe we have other relatives, bua fufa chachi, right? They have like aunties and uncles. So the same way journals also have rankings and levels. The best journals are considered under Q1 category. As you can see, Q1, the most prestigious journals in the field with the highest number of citations. This is called as quartile 1. This is called as quartile 2, just below that, quartile 3, below that, quartile 4, the worst journals. Not the worst, actually. I would say the quality of publishing papers in Q4 journals is not up to that front where like you can use it for a reference. They are also journals, they're also trying to maintain their standards so that they can come to Q3. Q3 is trying for Q2. Q2 journals are maintaining their quality to be in the list of Q1 journals. So there's always a competition of these quartile jumps. And sometimes if a journal from Q1 category does not follow a good standard, they jump into Q2 automatically. Same goes with the Q3 and Q4. These are some indexing platforms. Like Scopus is the best platform right now. And we also have, I'll just show you something on the Scopus. So, okay. Since we have the subscription of Scopus, so I'm mentioning it once again because you must use this service in our campus. You can use it at Maharashtra server and you can log in from your email ID and you can utilize it. So this is how Scopus looks like. Right? If you can find out a particular paper, you can type over here. If you can, if you have to find out particular author, you can find out over here. Right? Research discoveries. Just type some keyword there, it will give you the research discoveries. Organizations. Suppose here I have to search Manarachna. Right? So this is our university's standard status right now. We have published 3,077 documents with 1,700 authors. Right? So in these are the areas where we have been publishing at Manarachna. computer science, engineering, medicine, mathematics, decision science, energy, right? So this is the graph. As you can see, the highest percentage, the lowest percentage, right? And we can also check about the collaborators from here. What are the collaborators of Manurachna? And faculty members from Manurachna have been publishing with these universities and affiliations, right? Right. So this is how, and I'll just show you how you have to use Scopus AI. Suppose I'm typing over here, like just okay. I'll just try with the AI and machine learning in electronics. I've compiled two departments. Let's see. See, it is performing. Yes. So it has given AI machine learning in electronics, right? It has shown some of the topics and energy consumptions, real-time monitoring, right? Security. Now, below this, you can find out the emerging themes. So these are the emerging themes about AI and ML in electronics. See, AI driven, it has given some title, right? Consistent theme. It is a theme. Now you can find out and start writing, start preparing your outline about this particular. It is emerging. Emerging means trending, right? Now it has given lots of topics. Again, you can find out a machine and material science and energy and engineering, right? So you can also see that there are references there they have given. You can click on that, you can get the reference over here. You can find out this paper on Google and you can read it. So this is how Scopus AI works, right? So I've just tried to summarize this in a very shorter period of time. I'll just finish with my presentation. Impact factor, okay, fine. We'll go with this. Journal finder, I have told you that they always try to find out a journal with journal finder. Right, these are the aim and scope about the journal. You can read out after suggesting journals. Also, you can read out the areas. Okay, now we'll go with the AI tools and plagiarism. AI tools, again, if you want to write a paper, you should not use ChatGPT, I would suggest, because ChatGPT, yes, you can utilize it to for getting information. You can utilize it. What are the trending topics you can find out from ChatGPT? Again, you can find out with the help of Scopus AI. But yes, information given by ChatGPT is not scientific, that much scientific, I would say, because it will ultimately be checked whenever you are submitting a paper. You have to your mentor or like faculty member, they will check about the AI content and plagiarism, because if you have copied, it will show you, it will software will show that this much percentage of the content have been copied from so and so paper. So rather not to choose ChatGPT, or just do not copy or paste from some published papers. Quillbot is a uh, tool where you can paraphrase. Yes, it is paid, but yes, it provides 125 words for free. So you can do it like 100 words paragraph, you can paraphrase it. But again, you cannot completely depend on it, because it twins the language of the content which you actually provide them. So see, tools are there, but you should be very careful while using these tools. They can be a good asset for preparing your paper, but yes, you cannot be like completely dependent on these tools, right? Again, the PaperPal is a software which actually checks for the grammar. Same work has been done by Grammarly as well. At Mandarashna, we have subscription of Grammarly also. So this is how a plagiarized report looks like. If you have copied some paragraph from some paper, it will show you. See, you can see from where it has been copied. You can see this color, that means third one. It has copied from this particular paper. Like this, the report is represented from a software. Right. I would suggest at the end that before start writing, or like before starting your research paper, or trying to publish a paper, you should be a part of somebody else's paper. if you be a part of somebody's paper, then only they you will get to know the basics. Do some small parts in somebody's paper, right? Somebody means the person who has good research profile and who understands the research. So, and this is the main reason that people keep putting on efforts years and for years and years, and they do not gain that much research visibility. They do not gain that much of citations because they have been trying to play with the papers blindly. But it is not a game. Again, it is a very professional, ethical, and legal thing. So be a part of somebody's paper. Do not worry about your name, like where it has been placed. Oh no, मैं तो इतना काम किया था, मुझे fifth author क्यों दिया, मुझे sixth author क्यों दिया? Doesn't matter. If you are building a profile, start working with somebody who has an interest, who has knowledge, who has background of research, and then only you will be able to understand the basics of research, right? When you have published like 4 or 5 or 10 papers, then you can be efficient enough to understand and to submit a paper, because you already have published, you have been a part of 10 papers for example. Now after working on 10 papers, after publishing 10 papers, you will be able to understand, like, okay, this is my cup of tea now, right? This is my personal suggestion. And that's it. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
So there are a lot of queries in the chat box, so it would be really helpful if you can answer those.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So basic research of structure. Hmm. Basic research of structure. I'm not getting the question first of all. Or like you are trying to ask, what are the basic structure of research? Okay. So what are
So
the
should I
most common? Sorry.
should I read?
Yeah, yeah. Please, please go ahead with one by one.
What are the most common mistakes beginners make when writing their first research paper?
Okay. Mistakes like, first of all, as I said, before writing, you need to do your homework at the notebook and you have to read papers, you have to download papers. The most common thing is people start writing and they do not understand the research gap and what are the outlines of the paper. Outline matters a lot. Again, once again, like what are the headings that you are including in your paper? And if you are writing a review paper, you must include some basic structures like introduction, then a literature review, then some parts, some subheadings, some sections which include circular economy, some financials, then future perspective, then conclusion, the references. So these are the basic structures. So as I said, before writing a paper, just read out a paper and take a printout, right? Read the abstract, read the title, then go for the paper. And like abstract is something which the more you read, the more you gain, right? If you will read an abstract 3 times, you will get to know the basics, the summary of the paper which they have covered in three different tangents. So before writing paper, just read a paper first of all. Okay.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
how do we decide whether our research is good enough to be published?
How to decide? Okay. Again, suppose you have followed some methodology, some protocols to perform your research experiments, right? So that must be referring to a research paper which is already published. So you have, when you have find out some research gap and you have been following that methodology, that protocol in your experiments as well. So data will not be similar, but yes, it will be somewhat like close to those papers or those areas, those published papers. So whenever you get almost similar, or whenever you think that it is very unique which you have done, right? So get it reviewed, before submitting to a journal, get it reviewed by an expert of your like faculty member. Just send them and request them to read it out. They will be able to help you more. Okay, include this heading is missing, this data is missing, just add on this particular graph. So this is how we manually go for submission check. All right.
How much statistical knowledge is necessary for research writing and how can we improve it?
Okay, statistical analysis is required when when you have a data set, right? So there are certain tools like SPSS, and there are certain calculations like ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA. So these are the basic statistical tools which you just apply on it. And there are lots of like machine learning softwares as well, right? Like fuzzy logic and artificial neural networking. So these are some machine learning statistical tools with the help of those experts which like who know these statistical tools. You can find out that your research is statistically proven or not, because it is used for that, to prove that whatever the findings you have got, it is actually statistically proven, right? So these are the cross checks. And scientific knowledge means a single person cannot write a single paper alone. First of all, yes, they can write it, but for that you need to be become an expert, and it will gain years by years. It will take lots of years to be an expert to write a single solo paper. So for that, whenever we write a paper, we take help from others, and whenever we take help from others, we add their name as authors. So if you're not able to understand the statistical tools, you just start compiling your data set, take a help from some statistician, add his or her name in the paper as well for the token of acknowledgement, and they will help you. And by this you can also learn slowly that how it has been used in a paper, right?
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you. So should I leave the meeting?
So just a second.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. Your guidance on research versus review, in identifying research gap, writing the steps, and selecting the right journal was extremely valuable. We sincerely appreciate your time and expertise. I asked Sunita ma'am to give a vote of thanks.
So first of all, thank you so much, sir. It was really a very enlightening session. Starting from conceiving the idea till your ideation, how to write the paper and what not. I think nothing is left, and definitely students are going to implement in their RIC subject. And next time we will meet offline, sir. Definitely, it was really a very wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Sir, love to see you offline, sir.
Yeah,
As we have
same
discussed,
here.
ऑफलाइन में ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग और ज्यादा क्वेरीज हम लोग सॉल्व कर सकते हैं.
Right. And I can like interact with the people, and I can give them some exercise to perform so that they can actually
Exactly.
learn practically.
Right. So again, sir, invitation for our side. Next time हम लोग ऑफलाइन रखेंगे for the student
Sure.
as well as faculty. Thank you
Sure,
so
madam.
much, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you,
so
sir.
much. Yeah, thank you.
सर प्लीज जस्ट सर बाकी पार्टिसिपेंट को भी एक बार आप बोल दो. सर कैमरा एक बार ऑन करके आप रखिएगा. We will just take a photograph.
Everyone, please turn on your cameras.